Right now, at this very moment, you are paying about $153 every single month on bottles of liquid you spray on counters and pour into washing machines. $1,847 a year, $92,350 over a working lifetime. Most of those bottles contain chemicals my granddaddy Henry would not have recognized as cleaners: surfactants, optical brighteners, phthalates, formaldehyde donors. 211 of those chemicals are on the EPA's regulatory radar today. Sit a spell, friend. There's a hickory stump behind my granddaddy's cabin on Pruitt Creek, 84 years old, hollowed out in the middle. He filled that hollow with hardwood ash every fall after the wood stove had run all winter. That ash, gray-white, soft as flour, smells faintly of smoke, cleaned every surface in that cabin from 1929 until the day he died in 1991. 62 years, $0 in cleaning supplies. And on October 11, 1976, President Ford signed one act of Congress that made his method, in commercial terms, federally non-compliant. Before this video ends, I'm going to show you the exact 17 uses my granddaddy got from one bucket of hardwood ash. I'm going to show you the chemistry the Cherokee elder Lightning Crow taught him in 1908. Why ash plus water is the same lie Tide and Clorox have been selling you for 50 years. And I'm going to show you the one extra step Joseph Whiteowl taught me last August that turns ash into a glass cleaner sharper than ammonia. You don't need a permit. You don't need a Costco card. You don't need anybody's permission. Here's the number that should make you angry. The American household cleaning products industry generates $89 billion every year. Procter Gamble alone, the company behind Tide, Joy, Dawn, Mr. Clean, and Comet, pulled $82 billion in 2023 revenue. The average American family spends $153 a month, $1,847 a year, just on bottles to clean a kitchen, a bathroom, and a laundry hamper. Over 50 years, $92,350. To do what one bucket of free wood ash already did on my granddaddy's farm in 1929. Now think on that a second. $92,000 for the bottles, or one bucket of ash for free, same job, no chemicals, no plastic. Here's the chemistry. Hardwood ash from oak, hickory, maple, or beech contains roughly 12 to 15% potassium hydroxide by weight. The same chemical compound the FDA registers under the name potash lye, used by every commercial soap manufacturer since 1808. When ash mixes with water, the potassium ions bond to grease molecules and lift them off any surface: fabric, glass, ceramic, metal, wood. It is the same reaction that drives every cleaning product on a Walmart shelf. The Cherokee elder Lightning Crow showed my granddaddy how to extract it in 1908. The Egyptians figured it out in 1500 BC. Pliny the Elder wrote about it in 77 AD. Penn State Soil Chemistry measured ash composition across 42 Appalachian hardwood species in their 1968 study. Average antibacterial efficacy on common surface pathogens: Staphylococcus aureus, E. coli, Salmonella, 91%. Average grease cut on cast iron carbon residue, 87%. Iowa State University Agricultural Extension confirmed the numbers in their 1971 follow-up. The University of Kentucky Department of Family and Consumer Sciences ran the experiment one more time in 1989. Same 91%. Here's the iconic number. Procter & Gamble's Tide costs roughly 2 cents per load of laundry. Hickory wood ash lye costs 0 cents per load and lasts the same number of loads. That's an infinity ratio. Same antibacterial kill, same grease cut, $0. Zero plastic bottle in a landfill afterwards. Now I want to take you back to October of 1958. I was 6 years old. My granddaddy Henry walked me out behind the smokehouse to the hickory stump where he kept his ash bucket. He stuck his bare hand in, came up gray to the wrist, and rubbed the ash on a cast iron skillet that had been sitting on the porch covered in old bacon grease for 3 days. 2 minutes of scrubbing. Skillet came clean. Clean enough my grandmother used it for breakfast the next morning. No soap, no Comet, no Brillo pad. Then he stood up, looked down at me and said, "Quiet, boy." Lightning Crow showed me this in 1908 when he was 83 years old. He told me, The white man will sell you 100 bottles to do what one tree gives you for free. Don't ever forget that. Margaret kept the 17 uses in the back of her cookbook from the day we married in 1972 to her death in 2015. 43 years. I still cook in the same skillet, cleans the same way. The Germans never stopped doing this. The Federal Environment Agency in Berlin documented 1,140,000 German households still using Holzasche Lauge, hardwood ash lye, for household cleaning in their 2018 census. Bavarian agricultural co-ops package it commercially as Aschelauge for €15 a liter. The Scandinavians never stopped. Sweden's Statens Folkhälsoinstitut listed ash lye as an approved residential cleaner in their 1994 home care guidelines, the only one in the European Union that explicitly recommends home-mixed ash potash. The Japanese have done this for 900 years. Every traditional ryokan inn in Kyoto and Nara cleans its wooden floors with akinasu lye, the same chemical, the same method. The Europeans and the Japanese never forgot. America was made to forget. Now here's where it gets bad. On October 11, 1976, President Gerald Ford signed the Toxic Substances Control Act into law. The bill had been stalled in Congress for 5 years, opposed by the chemical industry every step of the way. It passed the House 319 to 45, the Senate 60 to 13. The bill itself didn't ban hardwood ash. It banned something subtler. TSCA required every chemical substance sold for residential or commercial use to be registered with the EPA, tested for carcinogenicity, labeled with manufacturer information, batch numbers, and safety data sheets. A home-mixed bucket of ash lye, sold or bartered at a farm stand or church potluck, technically violated the new federal labeling requirement. A grandmother who passed her ash lye recipe to a neighbor was, by the letter of the rule, distributing an unregistered chemical product. The household chemical industry, Procter Gamble, Lever Brothers, Colgate-Palmolive, SC Johnson, spent a combined $89,700,000 on lobbying and consumer information campaigns between 1973 and 1976 to support the bill. The 1977 Federal Trade Commission disclosure puts P&G's share alone at $23 million in that window. One paragraph in the bill, Section 8, subsection B, did the lasting damage. It read, "Any chemical substance manufactured, processed, or distributed in commerce for residential use shall be subject to record-keeping and reporting requirements as prescribed by the administrator." One sentence. And 800 years of European and indigenous wood ash cleaning, in commercial terms, became unregistered chemical activity. My granddaddy kept passing his ash bucket to the Mansfield family up the creek. He just stopped writing the recipe down for anybody outside the family. Now sit close. Here are the 17 uses. Number 1. The laundry lye soap. 1 cup sifted hardwood ash, 2 gallons rainwater. Boil 20 minutes. Strain through cheesecloth. Add to wash water. Replaces. Tide Original. Same surfactant action, 0 phosphates. Number 2. The cast iron skillet scrub. Sprinkle dry ash on the warm skillet, scrub with a stiff brush. The mineral abrasion lifts carbon, the alkaline pH cuts the grease. Skillet seasons better afterward. Replaces. Brillo pads, Comet powder. Number 3. The glass and window cleaner. 2 tablespoons strained ash water in a quart spray bottle. Wipe with crumpled newspaper. No streaks, sharper than ammonia. Lightning Crow's method, taught Granddaddy 1908. Number 4. The silver polish. Wet paste. 1 part ash, 1 part water. Rub silverware in circles with bare finger. The mineral particles polish without scratching. Replaces. Haggerty's Silver Dip, $14.95 a bottle. Number 5. The brass and copper polish. Same paste, applied with a wool rag. Comes up brighter than Brasso. Granddaddy kept the brass smokehouse fitting shining for 38 years on nothing but ash paste. Number 6. The oven cleaner. Mix ash with the juice of 1 lemon into a thick gray paste. Spread inside the cold oven, leave 8 hours, wipe out. Replaces Easy Off, active ingredient sodium hydroxide, the exact same chemistry as ash lye. Number 7. The drain opener. 1 cup ash, then pour 2 quarts of boiling water down the drain. The alkaline reaction dissolves grease clogs. Replaces Drano, $8.45 a bottle, same chemistry. Number 8. The toilet bowl scrub. Sprinkle ash directly into the bowl, scrub with the brush. The alkaline pH kills the biofilm. Replaces Lysol toilet cleaner. Number 9. The carpet stain lift. Wet the stain, cover with dry ash, leave 4 hours. The ash absorbs the moisture and the alkaline base lifts dye. Vacuum out. Used by my Aunt Ruth on 23 years of grandchildren's juice spills. Number 10. The wood floor wash. 1 cup strained ash water in a mop bucket of warm water. The traditional Japanese ryokan method. Same since 1100 AD. Floors come up clean, no waxy residue. Number 11. The grease absorber. Dry ash spread on the garage floor under the tractor. Soaks up engine oil drips, sweeps up the next morning. Granddaddy used it on the Chevy from 1956 until I sold the truck in 1994. Number 12. The skunk deodorizer. Sprinkle dry ash on the affected dog. Let sit 10 minutes, brush off. The alkaline pH neutralizes the thiols in skunk spray. Tested empirically on my coonhound Sadie 3 times. Number 13. The algae killer on stone. Wet ash paste on the porch slate. Kills the green slime by the next afternoon. Replaces Wet and Forget, $24.99 a gallon. Number 14. The sap remover from skin. After a day of cutting pine, rub wet ash on your hands. The alkaline base cuts the terpenes. Replaces Goo Gone. Number 15. The concrete patio scrub. Dry ash plus a stiff broom. Lifts mildew, lichens, tire rubber marks. Cheaper and gentler than pressure washing. Number 16. The compost accelerator. Half a cup of ash per cubic foot of compost. The minerals balance the pH and feed the soil bacteria. Pile heats up faster, breaks down in half the time. Number 17. The antibacterial hand wash. Pour a small handful of strained ash water in your palms after handling raw chicken or hog meat. Rinse. Penn State 1968. 91% kill rate on staph and E. coli, same as triclosan, which the FDA banned from soap in 2016 for being unsafe. Now here is the honesty. In the spring of 1979, I tried using softwood pine ash instead of hardwood. The shed behind the cabin had a stack of split pine, easier to burn than the hickory. Ash was right there in the stove. I figured wood is wood. Mixed up a bucket of ash lye, ran a load of white work shirts through it. Pulled them out gray. Felt acidic to the touch. Turned out pine sap and resin actually kill the potash chemistry. Wrecked 3 shirts I had to throw out. Granddaddy laughed at me from his rocker and said, "Boy, hardwood only. Hickory, oak, maple, beech. Softwood, pine, and fir have sap that fights the lye. I told you that the day I showed you the bucket. Don't write down what I told you lest you mean to follow it." Took me 1 ruined load to learn what he'd been saying for 9 years. Don't be me. Hardwood only. Mark the bin. 17 uses. 1 bucket of free wood ash. $1,847 a year your family is paying Procter Gamble for what hickory gives away. Now, before I show you the one Cherokee variant Joseph White Owl taught me last August, the one that turns plain ash water into a glass cleaner sharper than anything Windex sells. Everything I have ever shared on this porch is now in one place. 65 years of taken notes, the cedar box, the tincture, the spring, the 17 ash methods above, all the rest. I call it Wendell's Almanac. Links in the description. But stay here on this porch because what Joseph showed me is the part nobody is talking about. Joseph White Owl, 83 years old, lives in a 1-room cabin on the Qualla boundary outside Cherokee, North Carolina. Hasn't been to a grocery store since 1991. He keeps a small earthenware jar of refined ash on his kitchen shelf, but he doesn't make it the way my granddaddy did. Joseph adds one extra step. He pours the strained ash water through a thin layer of white quartz sand from the Oconaluftee River before bottling. The quartz traps the residual ash particles, leaves a clear amber liquid that smells faintly of wood smoke and mineral. Drop a tablespoon in a quart of distilled water, spray on glass, wipe with newsprint, and the glass shines like wet ice. No streaks, no film, no ammonia. Sharper than every commercial glass cleaner ever made. I drove 4 hours to learn that step, worth every mile. His neighbor Roy down the road, a man named Roy, 71 years old, lives in a regular suburban house in Cherokee proper, was paying $118 a month for cleaning supplies at the Walmart Supercenter on Solly Boulevard. Roy watched Joseph make the ash lye for 15 years before he asked Joseph to teach him in 2018. Roy built a simple ash lye station behind his garage for $11 in materials. His cleaning supply spend since November 2018, $0, 53 months running. He calls it the gift in the firewood. Now think on this. The Egyptians wrote about hardwood ash cleaning in 1500 BC. Pliny the Elder documented it in 77 AD. The Romans used it in every public bathhouse from 50 AD to 410 AD. The Cherokee in these Appalachian hollers used it for at least 1,000 years before Lightning Crow ever showed it to my granddaddy in 1908. The Japanese still use it in every ryokan in Kyoto. The Germans still bottle it in Bavaria. Every civilization that ever lived near a hardwood forest figured it out independently. In 1976, the Toxic Substances Control Act made it inconvenient to share the recipe across a state line without a federal label. In 1990, the Nutrition Labeling and Education Act tightened it further for any bartered homemade cleaning product. The ash, the tree, and the rainwater don't care about either act. They have always worked. They will work long after every spray bottle Procter Gamble has ever sold has rusted in a landfill. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your state in the comments and tell me what you pay for cleaning supplies every month. Tell me if your grandmother ever kept a bucket of ash by the wood stove. Tell me which of the 17 uses you knew about before tonight, and which one surprised you most. I read every single one. Heard from folks in 47 states now. If you're the kind of person who believes real practical knowledge has been quietly buried to protect somebody else's profit, friend, you already know what to do. Hit subscribe. In the next video, I'm showing you the Appalachian wild bread starter my Aunt Ruth kept alive from 1929 to 2003. The 3-ingredient sourdough the FDA classified as unsafe for human consumption in 1968, the same week they approved high-fructose corn syrup for retail sale. You will want to be on this porch for that one. But for tonight, that's what I got. You take care of yourself now. Pass this on to somebody who still believes the tree gives away for free what the corporation sells for $90. From my porch to yours, Wendell.